Teachers with 5 or more years of experience will get a $5,000 salary increase. Teachers with 3 to 4 years of experience will get a $2,500 increase. The state did not fund 0, 1, and 2 year teachers, but what we were able to do, which I'm very thankful for, is provide a $1,500 increase to 1 and 2 year teachers, and then increase the starting salary to $60,000.
So talking about the approved budget from yesterday, obviously a lot kind of going on there, especially involving staff and teacher pay. But what are some of the highlights, in your opinion, of what the budget is doing for next school year?
I think first, one of the biggest highlights is that we were able to adopt a balanced budget. That is something that many districts are struggling with right now. Of course, the additional state aid is going to help districts in that aspect. Del Valle I inherited a $13 million deficit, and we were able to make significant progress, obviously, by adopting a balanced budget. But in addition to adopting a balanced budget, we were also able to provide our employees with salary increases. I'm really proud of the fact that we were able to provide a 1.5% salary increase to all employees. That doesn't account for teachers. But in Del Valle, we've been able to give pretty competitive salary increases. And I know 1.5% doesn't seem like a lot, but it helps us to continue to be very competitive. I'm also proud of the fact that I believe we're the first district in the area to hit the $60,000 mark when it comes to starting teacher salaries. So that's something I'm very proud of as well. For our teachers, our librarians, our counselors, and school nurses, they're all going to be able to receive at least a 3% salary increase, upwards to 9.5%, depending on the number of years that they have. And part of that is because of House Bill 2 that was passed in this last legislative session, which requires us to give retention increases to teachers with 3 or more years of experience, and so the teachers with more experience, 5 years and beyond, receive even more significant salary increases. And so we're really proud that we were able to do that, and that the legislative session really invested historically in education funding. Although we are still not funded fully, this does help us when it comes to salaries and addressing other needs in the school district. And the significant part of this budget is that teachers with 5 or more years of experience will get a $5,000 salary increase. Teachers with 3 to 4 years of experience will get a $2,500 increase. The state did not fund 0, 1, and 2 year teachers, but what we were able to do, which I'm very thankful for, is provide a $1,500 increase to 1 and 2 year teachers, and then increase the starting salary to $60,000.
Yeah, that's awesome. And before we get into some of those salaries, can you kind of define for me what a balanced budget is?
So what a balanced budget means, oftentimes, I mean, really, since we've not been funded fully, districts are having to dip into their reserve funds or their fund balance. And that's what Del Valle had to do in the past. We had a $13 million deficit for a variety of reasons in our school district. One of the big ones is that the federal funds, the ESSER funds that were provided as a response to COVID, the district added a lot of positions, a lot of human capital. And when those funds went away, we didn't make any reductions. And so that contributed. We also have a Chapter 313 agreement with Tesla, in which the district receives millions of dollars that is decreasing every year. We also added positions with that money as well, in addition to just other partnerships that we paid for, technology. It really added to that growing deficit that we had to work to address. So we started working with our board of trustees back in January to begin to start educating them on the state of our finances, and held numerous workshops with our board to help them understand where we were, how we got here. But we also had to identify positions that we were going to have to eliminate through attrition, as well as some programs. And so some really tough decisions had to be made. but they had to because it would have really resulted in the district not being able to provide salary increases um, to employees besides teachers because the state would have funded that. And we really wanted to think about setting ourselves up for success down the road to continue to be competitive. But we're also opening up a second high school in the fall of 2027, and we have to be able to staff that high school. And yes, we're splitting the students at our current Del Valley High School, but it's not going to be an even split. You have to have a principal at both, an athletic coordinator at both, a band director at both, a principal secretary at both. And so that's going to be an additional cost. So it was absolutely critical that we balanced our budget. And again, I just can't thank the support from our board and our business office for helping to achieve that.
Yeah, and that sounds like a huge achievement, climbing out of $13 million deficit and balancing that budget. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We were just talking about those teacher salary increases. I mean, how important is it for Del Valle ISD to invest back into their teachers?
It is absolutely important. Our teachers pour so much into the work they do. They pour their heart and soul and go above and beyond. And I was already proud of the fact that we were compensating very competitively in this area, in this region. But this helps us do more for our teachers. And we've been struggling in Texas for a number of years, especially after COVID with teacher retention and teacher recruitment. We're seeing fewer people enter the teaching profession. And so I am excited about salaries increasing across the state that could potentially lead more people to go into education or return into education. We saw during COVID and after COVID a lot of teachers that left the profession, and our teachers should be uh, paid a living wage to be able to afford to live in the Austin area. Austin is very expensive, and it is a struggle for teachers to be able to afford houses, especially single teachers, but not just teachers, but all employees in our school district. So it's essential that we try to pay as competitively as possible. So I think that the significant increases will result in teacher retention, keeping teachers in the classrooms, keeping teachers from pursuing other opportunities, and possibly some teachers holding off on retirement so that they can increase their highest years of salary average that will help calculate a salary for retirement, but also, as I mentioned, incentivize young individuals who are about to go to college or in college to go into a career that is so rewarding, such as education.
Sure. And we mentioned that 1.5% increase for all other staff who aren't necessarily teachers, but I mean, how important is it to give back into them as well? They might not be in the classroom directly with those students, but surely they still play a big part in the everyday, operation for not only the district, but the students as well.
Absolutely. I often say that it takes a village to raise a child, and it takes every single person in our school district to educate our 12,000 students. It takes the cafeteria worker, the bus driver, the custodian, the principal secretary, the chief of human resources. It takes a village to ensure that we're meeting the needs of our students. And in Del Valle ISD, our students have significant needs. We are about 90% poverty, or what I refer to as education dependent. And so it's essential that we are paying all employees competitively, especially as inflation is impacting everyone. And so with rising costs come the increased grocery prices, gas prices, utilities. And so I wish we would have been able to provide a higher increase to our employees beyond the 1.5%. But I truly believe that this is going to set us up in next school year to make up for that and be even more competitive. Fortunately, last year we were able to give a more competitive salary increase, but the state did not fund enough dollars to be able to do a 3 or 4% like we're able to do for teachers, for all other employees, but we're going to work very hard to continue to increase our wages for our employees so that they can they can afford to live in our community. As we all know, and I mentioned Austin is very expensive, and we are located in East Austin, and we want our employees to live in the district and not drive in from smaller communities further out, which again adds another cost because you have gas and tollways that you have to account for.
Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and get the latest news by downloading the CBS Austin News app.